Behind me is one of the coolest cars that Subaru has ever created. This is a 2017 Subaru WRX Limited, and it may look a lot like an STI, but it's not. Here today, I'm going to break down exactly what this car is, what makes it so great, and why you should go ahead and buy it right now. The 2017 year model for the Subaru has almost everything possible you could ever want on it. It's part of the 4th generation of the WRX, which means it's the most current generation, and though it is before the 2018 refresh, it has just about all the same features, which means you get a lot more bang for your buck than almost any other year model available. Best of all, this is a 6-speed manual, which means it's way more fun to drive and you can fully take advantage of every part of the driving experience. Let's take a peek at the exterior. If you'll notice, this car has 18-inch gold XXR wheels to really complement the black finish of the car. It's also been lowered significantly on some aftermarket coilovers, and that STI wing in the back, that's just for show, but it also adds quite a bit of downforce at high speeds. Now, coming to the back of the car, you'll notice that the exterior modifications that I mentioned before aren't limited to just this amazing wing. You'll also see some aftermarket fogged taillights, which really add a midnight look to the car and really complete the blackout spec. You'll also notice that this aftermarket quad tip exhaust is going to produce one incredible note, which I'll have for you later in the video. Now, I don't really have anything to say about it from this angle, other than the fact that it is truly just a gorgeous sports sedan. My lighting was perfect, so I had to take advantage of the opportunity to show you just how fantastic this car looks from every single angle imaginable. The way the sun shines off of those gold wheels, the way those lines look, there's nothing that I don't love about this car, and there's nothing you wouldn't love about it either. Now, if you take a peek under the hood, you'll notice that the modifications that you see on the exterior aren't the only ones that have been made. There's also a Mishimoto intercooler, a performance intake manifold, and a number of smaller modifications that have been made to this engine that make it produce somewhere around the 325 horsepower mark. Now, you may be thinking, well, it's just a sedan, how great can it really be? But the fact is, Subaru has designed this car from the ground up to be truly a sports car performer. Let's start with the engine. Without any modifications, it produces 268 horsepower and 258 pound-feet of torque, which is pretty decent on its own. But as I mentioned before, there are a number of upgrades that have been done to the engine of this car, making it push around 325 horsepower. More to the point, it's a Subaru. Subaru's been the king of rally performance for decades, and this is no different here. This car is truly fantastic inside and out and designed to be a performer whether it looks like it or not. Now, this car truly shines in the interior as well. If you take a look at what's going on in front of me, I've got a fantastic sports steering wheel to really maximize my driving control. That previously mentioned navigation system that I am dying for, especially because most Subarus before this didn't always come with it. It also, like I said, has a manual stick shift, which means it is so very fun to drive and you can really feel every single moment behind the wheel. The thing I love most about this interior though are the seats. Now, you may not see me in the shot, but that's because I didn't want to spoil the view of these fantastic stitched leather bucket seats in front of you. They're extremely comfortable, very supportive, and they'll keep you locked in place whether you're taking a fast corner or just taking your kid to school. It's only fair that I start her up for you, so let's do that right now. And as promised, I'll show you from the back as well. I have just a couple closing things to say before I finish out this video. First of all, this car is for sale for only $26,991, which is a fantastic price given everything that's on this car. I mean, let's be real, who could pass all of this fantastic stuff up? Second of all, this car only has 42,000 miles on the odometer, which means it's even better of a deal than you might think it already is. Given that the current industry average is about 12,000 to 15,000 miles per year, and this car is 4 years old, it's impossible to refuse the low miles and the value that you get from this car. Third and finally, I cannot stress this enough, this car is for sale right now, today, at this very moment at RPM Garage. And if you're in the Dallas area, I cannot recommend enough coming down to their showroom, taking a look at their inventory, and maybe even checking out this car. I'd like to thank all of you for watching today's video. I hope all of you will click that subscribe button, and I can't wait to see you all in the next review.